Welcome to Two Hypnotherapists Talking with me, Denise Mejia, in Delaware, USA.
And me, Martin Ferber, in Preston, UK.
This weekly podcast is for anyone and everyone who'd like to know more about the fascinating subject of hypnosis and the benefits it offers.
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and psychotherapist.
I'm a retired medical doctor turned consulting hypnotist.
We are Two Hypnotherapists Talking.
So let's get on with the episode.
Anyway, we're only one episode away from the end of the series, aren't we? Series 2.
No.
I know, and I've got what looks like some good news today, Denise.
What was that, sir?
Ooh, I think I'm being syndicated.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Where do you think you will syndicate to?
I think I'm
locally?
Into the neighbouring county across the other side of the Pennines. Into Yorkshire, because I'm in Lancashire, of course. So,
Yorkshire's one of the biggest counties there is, isn't it?
It is.
Is it landmass or is it population?
I think it's landmass.
Yeah.
In size, because you've got like West Yorkshire, East Yorkshire, South Riding, North Yorkshire, haven't you? But Yorkshire as a whole is massive.
But for those who are not familiar with British geography, including those in Britain, it's one of the ones we know, right? There are certain counties, and they say, "Is that a county? I don't know." But that one people know, if only for Downton Abbey.
Yeah. God's own country, Yorkshire, they call it. And then of course we got Yorkshire tea.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. That's good. Do you know when that will come to pass?
I'm not sure. I just got an email this afternoon from somebody interested in syndicating my existing column.
What's the name of your existing column?
It's mental health and wellbeing with Martin Ferber in the Lancashire Telegraph. Yeah.
So is that a decision for the editor, and they sort of bring you along for the ride? Do you sort of does your article belong to you still, or does it belong to the Telegraph?
As far as I know, it belongs to them, because I just write it for them and that's it. I don't put any copyright sign on it, because all I'm trying to do is increase people's knowledge on mental health and wellbeing and stop the stigma. I don't particularly write about hypnosis. I write about causes of things that can upset us, can affect our mental well-being. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm a therapist, but I work in helping people to feel better. I describe things that make people not feel good, and I describe ways of making yourself feel better and general ways of looking after your mental health and well-being and physical health and well-being.
Yeah, and of course this week you also added another little checkbox too. You should talk about that a little bit.
Oh well, yeah. You mean now I'm a qualified mental health first aider?
Yes, because you're going to be.
Because I'm going to be teaching the mental health first aid course by the end of May. By the time I've got all my additional tool belt qualifications, which is great because I'm going to be teaching it on behalf of Positive Action in the Community, which is a charity in East Lancashire, who are funded by Lancashire County Council. And it's a way of getting this training out there free of charge to people. There's no charge for it. Yeah, right. Because currently to go on one of the mental health first aid courses as a delegate, people are paying around about the £300 mark to get that qualification as a mental health first aider.
And these are they take that qualification because they're in a workplace that has X number of people, and so they need one.
But not just
also for people who just want to know.
People who want to know. Yeah, people who want to know. People involved in other organisations. Think about it. Say a Girl Guides leader.
Yeah.
She could be a mental health first aider. Then she would have more knowledge in the signs to look out for, how to offer assistance, how to offer support and information, and signpost them.
Yeah. Do they teach a general one and an adolescent one, or is everything together?
They do an adult one, and they do a youth one, a specific youth one.
Good. So now you're a syndicated writer,
syndicated
columnist. On a weekly. My syndication stuff is only monthly, so I do 2 articles a month on the radio. You have a growing individual practice you're referred to. You're in association with 2 other clinics.
Yeah.
So are you getting to the point where you may have to find a new mini-me?
No, I'm encroaching more and more into my evening time though now.
Yes, but Martin, dear, are you practicing self-care?
I am, yes.
How much self-care are you going to need very soon?
Well, that's it. That's what I say. It's encroaching into my evenings and on my Saturday mornings. Sunday is absolutely sacred. Not for religious reasons, but for other ones.
Right. Well, both of you are off, so you can do,
Yeah. Saturday morning, I don't mind actually doing client sessions Saturday morning on Zoom. I find it, again, it's a subconscious, isn't it? Because it's a day that I don't associate with the normal stresses and strains of phone calls and emails and things. I quite enjoy doing the client sessions on a Saturday morning. I just sit there and talk and, give therapy and enjoy it.
Okay. During the week, Monday through Friday, do you have any blocked out time that's absolutely yours?
No, not at the moment. I'm not for the next 2 months, but after that I will do, because the next 2 months I'm on that many different courses that I have to do to get all these extra qualifications. Once I've got those, I'm more or less going to be setting my own hours. I will be deciding on what days the courses will be and at what times. So they could be, from 1 till 5 in the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, which would be perfect.
Right. That's for each individual class that you're giving.
Yeah, because they're 2-day courses split over 4 half days.
Right. I just think as the practices are, that you've only just started at one of them and you're getting loads of people. You've got another person who's referring you to your private practice. Admittedly, those are clients that you're being able to help very rapidly.
Yeah. So far,
you can talk about that bit too, because I think it's a fascinating niche.
It is, but I'd rather leave that just leave that sitting where it is at the moment.
Okay.
Because it's such a very personal
keep
thing.
listening in, you'll find out what it is later.
No, it's such a very personal thing to the clients involved. I really wouldn't want to discuss it on air at the moment.
No, but I think it is you could discuss it without outing any particular client. It's an actual thing, and it's certainly pertinent in a lot more counties than Lancashire.
Yeah, absolutely. But I am finding that fascinating and enjoyable because, again, this is with certain things with hypnotherapy. I mean, as you know, we all have different ways of operating it. So, for example, you seem to do your best work in 2 sessions flat because of the way you do your hypnotherapy, in your style, in your methodology, should I say. Whereas me, usually it's around 6 sessions. That's how I pace things out. Maybe,
Well, we do have slightly different audiences.
Yeah. We all have our own ways of doing things. But these ones I've been doing, this particular methodology, it's like 1 or 2 sessions. I think it's more a question of I'd like to see a few more of these get exactly the same results before.
Yes. But of course, those are also people who are seriously committed to change.
Well, about as serious as you can get.
There's a teaser.
About as serious as you can get, I would say.
It's good. So, really, things have exploded for you in the last few months. This is definitely your year. 2023 is absolutely.
And yours too. I said it at the beginning of this year. This will be both our years. I did say that.
You did indeed. And things are moving forward for me too. Not quite as exponentially as for you, but they are moving forward.
But they are, aren't they? What else have you been up to? I know you've got this new sleep course.
Oh, no. Well, yes, I had the sleep piece, which is a piece of a larger program. I do see clients specifically for sleep, but sleep is so fundamental that it has to be part of any major program. So the one that will launch in a couple of weeks is Be Radiant, which is more about self-acceptance and changing the things you can change and deciding what is it that you want to change. And a lot of people have never really, I see a lot of older women, not necessarily old like me, but their kids are growing up now, they're coming up for air, and they realize they want to tweak things, but they don't necessarily know what it is they want to tweak because it's just all mishmash. So we work on that. I have a more segmented wheel. It's, so career sort of things, money sort of things, so go over each of these and how they interrelate. Of course, there's weight control, can't say the other word, in this, because I've never met a woman yet who's happy with her weight all the time. Maybe a few, but
I'm glad you said that and not me, because I would get called sexist for saying that.
No, I'm not saying that they're fat. I'm saying
that I'm saying that they're never happy with weight.
It's not necessarily that they aren't. It's the messages you get from society that's telling you.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what we're going to. What are you supposed to weigh when you're 5'2" and 70? Is there some? Yes, there's some statistical stuff that will say yes, you'll be healthier at this weight, but there's so many other aspects to it, and health is not usually the first thing that people think of.
Well, yeah, I mean,
frog in my throat here.
Well,
okay.
It's like, okay, we all know to lose weight you need a calorie deficiency, basically, on the amount of energy you're using. You need to consume fewer calories than you're burning to lose weight.
But it isn't the only factor.
No, I know that, but I mean, I can remember my weight issues are sort of, I wouldn't say famous now, but are well talked about. One of the things I used to do when I went on one of my many crash diets was cut out all fat and get obsessive about it. Well, actually, fat tastes nice in some things, and it's incredibly good for you.
Exactly, and there are lots of things that are good for you in it, and some of your vitamins only get there that way too.
Yeah, well, again, all the years of crash dieting and putting it back on and this, that, and the other, I would cut out sugar completely and do that as a diet. I'd cut out fat completely, or then I'd do one where you cut out carbs and eat loads of fat. And, end result, always the same. Not feel well, not feel good, and pile on a load of weight and get back where you were before, and some.
Yeah, of course, there's always the rebound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not specifically a weight loss thing, but we'll probably spend a fair amount of time with it because I think the group will want to. And so it will sort of morph depending on what the group needs. I have the basic, this is what I'll do this week, but the Q&A may go wherever it will. I'll see.
I know you said you help more women than men. That's the sort of.
Yeah, I think it's there might be a little bit of bias, because I know a fair number of male hypnotists, and I don't know what their makeup is of clients. So, but it may just be that women want to talk to women, and that's why I get referrals. Since I've seen women and then they talk to other women, maybe that kind of a bias. I don't market specifically to women. The weight loss thing, probably I will. Weight control. That word, both from a mental health, mindset way, but also from a marketing way, because you get your ads pulled if you use the word, because people have overpromised and underdelivered for so long. But I'm not sure if this group really, whether if a male wants to join the group, how well that would work, because the group itself has to work. Most of my work is independent, so what gender you are doesn't matter, because you're the only other person in there with me. But in a group setting, it might.
You need a group that bonds together, though, don't you?
Right. And when you're talking about things, like I feel fat. Whereas if you and I met first on an SEO course, it didn't matter what gender anybody was.
No.
I do remember you were one of a very limited number of males.
I was one. Yeah, but
I think there was another person in the first group, the very first group we were in. There was one other guy, Jeff, I think.
All right.
But you were the chattiest one.
No, there was no guy in the group I was in. The first
remember?
One.
Okay.
No,
okay.
No, I don't ever remember another guy in there. No, not at all. But I felt quite at home there. I'm perfectly at home in the company of women. You know what I mean? Absolutely at home.
Yes, but are women necessarily? They may be comfortable with you as an individual, but I think there are some things that we get shy about talking about.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
you have to have rapport within the group as well as with.
Yeah, of course. And women want to talk about this sounds so sexy, it's women stuff. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want a conversation about periods or the menopause or anything else, they don't particularly want to have that conversation in front of men. Same as pelvic floor exercises or weak bladders, at certain times in their life.
And probably men would be reticent to have those similar conversations the other direction.
Well,
you got your own plumbing to
exactly.
do, not just the stuff, just the stuff in your house right now.
Exactly. With men, it's usually conversations on the plumbing, yes, or lack of functionality. Let's put it. Let's keep. That's as involved as we need to get on this podcast, anyway. But yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. So, what else do you think? What kind of things will come up in conversation then in that group where you could think of something that would help?
Well, the things I'm expecting us to be talking about is body image, and feeling like you're being seen. That's a major issue for many women. They may end up being a group. I don't know yet. I haven't looked at the makeup of the group. It may well be people who are younger than me and are looking at the workplace situations and are they being heard? Is their voice heard? Is their voice validated? Voice work is really interesting. As a physician, I remember one time I was an attending. No, I wasn't. I was a fellow. And I was running a code and an male intern, it's all females around there, a male intern walked in. And of course, men on the battlefield, their voice goes further. And this is essentially a battlefield when you're running a code. And he was like shouting all the orders. And afterwards, and I said, excuse me, senior doctor.
Yeah.
And then I said, it's okay, but in many situations, they aren't ignored. There is an assumption that the male walks in, even though more than 50% of the medical school classes now are female. It is still a presumption that the guy's the doctor and the girl's the nurse. Well,
you said that happened to you in your previous career as a doctor. You could walk into a room with a male nurse, but they would speak to him as if he was the doctor.
Exactly. And it wasn't that he was misidentifying himself or not wearing the correct ID. It's just there's that assumption. So you'll speak to them and say, and they look over to the nurse and say, is that true?
So there are actually now more females than males on these doctors' courses, trained to be doctors. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I knew it. I knew you had parity, more or less, but there's actually now more women. Oh, good.
So much of your socialization is, the things your parents expect you to do, the things your neighbors expect you to do, and you absorb that, and that is how you identify.
It becomes part of your belief systems.
It does, but it isn't part of your intellectual system. So you think that you're good enough to do something because you passed the damn exam. Excuse me, you've passed the exam, and but there's that imposter syndrome that comes up, and I'm sure guys get it too, but I don't think they get it to the degree that women do. As a large group, individual results will vary, but for women, there's always that. Oh, excuse me. Would you mind? We always say please and thank you. Or invariably, a woman says, and if you don't say please and thank you, then you're a bitch. I'm
glad you said that.
I mean, but that's the if a woman goes in and has a strong, this is what we're going to do. You are perceived as somebody who's stamping her foot and having a temper tantrum, and so the most senior and most experienced person in the room.
Yeah, there you go.
That isn't global, but we're it's just always in the background.
This is it. I've heard this so many times, Denise, and this is one thing that really pees me off. Okay, you get a male who is leading a team or whatever in some kind of business situation, and he's really revved up and firing everybody up and this and that and the other. Oh, and he's a great guy. Woman does the same kind of thing. Oh, she's being hysterical. Oh, she's being emotional. Yeah. Oh, it's the menopause. Oh, it's a period. Yeah, straight off. That pees me off. That really pees me off.
Well, think how it feels to be a female.
Yeah.
It's true, but that's really the crux of it. Yes, people will lose weight if you're happier. you lose weight. There's so many things. People may come to the program because they want to look good in a bikini. I mean, that shifted a long time ago for me, but some people might still be in that age group. And yet the real issue isn't that. The real issue is, are they happy in their relationships? Do they have a good relationship with their children? All the other bits of your life, because you have to live all of it all at the same time. You may be concentrating on one aspect, but it's all happening. It's not like you can sort of stick a pin in this part and come back to it later.
No, absolutely.
Perhaps with a career, but not completely, because you've got to know that you are losing ground if you're not actually working in your career.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's the thing you're saying about losing weight. That's the thing when I do weight management with people. I do it over 6 sessions. We do not talk about food after the first 2. It's never mentioned again. It's never mentioned again, because it's not the food that's the issue. It's the thoughts they attach to it, and it's the rest of their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something else that's wrong, but we don't talk about food. There's no point. If you concentrate on it, you'll just get hungry. That's what I always say. You spend all day talking about food, you're just going to get hungry.
Do you encourage them to buy pineapples?
No, I do mention it though.
Reward yourself is what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, no, I just love pineapples. It gets rid of that sugar craving, for one thing, for me. But they're incredibly good for you, and it's just the kind of fruit that agrees with me. I've never been that much of a fruit eater. I like grapes. I like apples and oranges and pears, but I don't eat what you call soft fruits, plums, raspberries, berries. I don't eat any of those. It's the texture. I'm not very keen on them. Yeah, you could put a load in a blender, make a smoothie, I'll drink it. Not a problem.
No, but you don't go looking for it.
No, I don't go looking for them. If on the supermarket shelves, you can have every kind of fruit there, I'll invariably grab a pineapple or a yellow melon. They're nice. Depending on the time of year. Watermelons, not keen on them. All those pips.
I get seedless ones over here.
Oh.
Genetically modified or something.
All right.
Bred, or at least bred not to have seeds. So that was a little trip down something. I don't know where we went there, but
no, neither do I, but as usual, we go all over the place.
yeah. So we have Larissa next week. That's
yes, we do.
Our last season. And did we decide when we're going to, because we want to wrap for at least a month, did we decide when we're going to come back?
I think we'd said May the 7th, hadn't we?
Yes, that rings a bell.
Yeah, it rings a bell with me too. Yes, we will.
So when you're listening to this, if it's the first week it goes out, there's one more week of this season. And
with Larissa.
With it.
Who's talking about hypnosis without hypnosis.
Interesting concept. And then there'll be approximately a 4 or 5 week break, and then we'll pop up again. And
we're going to have, we'll be on episode 1 of that, and episode 2 is Brenda Rhodes.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have plans, and we hope you join us again. I would make a little plug. You know how usually they say like and subscribe. Yes, but also comment. We'd like some feedback from people other than, oh, jolly good job. That's nice.
Yeah.
But, I'd like some actual feedback.
Start a conversation. Leave something in the comments. Make it kind.
It can be kind, but you can disagree kindly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem at all. Just don't be unkind.
That's a good general rule to leave on for this episode, I think.
yeah. Okie dokie.
As always, lovely to talk to you, Martin. Talk to you soon.
And you, Denise. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.
We hope you've enjoyed listening. Please remember, this podcast is designed to give you an insight into therapeutic hypnosis and is for educational purposes only. So remember, consult with your own healthcare professional if you think something you've heard may apply to you or a loved one.
If you found this episode useful, you can apply for free continuing professional development or CME credits using the link provided in the show notes. Feel free to contact either of us through the links in the show notes. Join us again next week.